West Side Redlands, who acted as the primary dealers. The operation grew exponentially when the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club got involved. The Angels, already experienced in drug trafficking, saw an opportunity to consolidate the ring, boost profits, and tighten control over the meth trade in Southern California. Under the leadership of John Big Red Houston, a high-ranking member of the Hells Angels San Bernardino chapter, the club established itself as the meth ring's enforcers and logistical masterminds. Big Red, known for his imposing stature and ruthless reputation, had connections to Mexican cartels, which allowed him to source high-quality meth precursors like ephedrine and pseudoephedrine in bulk. The Hells Angels streamlined the production process, moving meth labs to remote desert properties protected by armed guards. They also established a distribution network that extended beyond California, supplying meth to neighboring states like Nevada, Arizona, and Oregon. The club took a hefty cut of the profits and enforced strict discipline among the ring's members. Big Red's motto was simple: loyalty or death. Anyone who stepped out of line faced brutal consequences, from beatings to outright execution. The meth ring's success depended not only on its criminal activities, but also on its ability to evade law enforcement. This was achieved through a combination of bribery, intimidation, and infiltration. Several local officials, including Sheriff's Deputy Thomas Wayne, were later revealed to be on the ring's payroll. Wayne, who had access to confidential police records, provided Big Red with advance warning of raids and investigations. He also helped the Hells Angels identify informants within their ranks. Wayne wasn't the only one complicit. A city councilman in Rialto was accused of accepting bribes to overlook zoning violations on properties used as meth labs. Even a local judge faced allegations of reducing sentences for ring members in exchange for cash and favors. As the meth ring's power grew, so did the violence. Rival gangs who attempted to encroach on San Bernardino's meth trade were swiftly dealt with. One infamous incident involved a shootout at a truck stop just outside Barstow, where members of the Hells Angels ambushed a convoy belonging to the Mongols Motorcycle Club, a bitter rival. 3 men were killed, and several others were injured in the ambush. The violence wasn't limited to rivalries. The meth ring also turned on its own members. When Carlos Spider Jimenez, a mid-level distributor, was suspected of skimming profits, he was abducted by Hells Angels enforcers, tortured, and killed. His body was later found buried in a shallow grave in Joshua Tree National Park. The violence sent a clear message: betrayal would not be tolerated. The San Bernardino meth ring operated with impunity for years, but its downfall began in 2003 when a federal task force launched Operation Desert Storm, an investigation targeting the meth ring in Southern California. The task force, composed of agents from the DEA,
sorry about that, guys.
focused on dismantling the ring
Where
by
we going?
infiltrating its inner circle. Undercover agents posed as drug buyers, gradually gaining
All
the
right.
trust of key players in the ring. One agent, operating under the alias Rick
I'm
Vargas,
pretty sure that
managed to infiltrate a
tomorrow.
Hells Angels affiliated crew.
I can see that being a nightmare.
Gathering evidence of drug deals. The breakthrough came when agents intercepted a shipment of ephedrine destined for a meth lab in
I
Victorville.
think.
The bust led to the arrest of several low-level operatives who cooperated with authorities in exchange for reduced sentences. Their testimony provided the evidence needed to indict Big Red and his inner circle. In 2005, law enforcement executed a series of coordinated raids across San
Alright, they're
Bernardino
starting
County,
with
arresting
doing their
over 50
quicker.
individuals, including Big Red himself. The raids uncovered massive amounts of meth,
No
cash,
hard,
and
which
weapons, as well as several clandestine labs. The trials that followed were among the largest drug-related prosecutions in California's history.
I see what they're
Red
trying
and
to
several
do,
high-ranking
but
Hells Angels members were convicted on charges of drug trafficking, racketeering, and murder. Big Red received a life sentence without the possibility of parole. Sheriff's Deputy Thomas Wayne and other corrupt officials were also
seriously, 2K, why in the blue hell is the MFP so shit?
highlighted the challenges of combating organized crime.
Like,
The meth trade
at least make it 2,505k. Like, what the actual fuck?
Dealt a significant blow to the region's meth industry. The San Bernardino meth
And
ring
here's
left a
another
lasting scar
issue.
on the region. Entire communities were ravaged by addiction. Families were torn
15
apart by
tokens.
violence, and the desert became a graveyard for those who crossed the wrong people. Things for the Hells Angels were about to get worse. George Christie stood as a towering figure within the Hells Angels, embodying the spirit of
Just a
loyalty
crappy
and power
sapphire
that
with
defined the infamous
not
motorcycle
even
club. As the president of the
remotely
Ventura,
interesting
California
badges.
chapter,
A 50.
Christie wasn't just another
The
biker.
rubies are going to be
He was a man of
100.
intelligence and diplomacy, traits that set him apart in a world often ruled by violence and brute force. For decades, Christie navigated the gritty and unpredictable landscape of the
125,
Hells Angels,
150
earning the respect of his brothers and
to
becoming a
250. That's how it's going to go. Or at least that's how I'm thinking it's going to go.
Exuded the kind of confidence that made him a leader among outlaws.
And
but the road he rode was treacherous, and even legends
you get
could fall.
2K being 2K.
Spread, shaking the very foundations of his loyalty to the Brotherhood. The
15.
accusations marked the beginning of Christie's unraveling within the club, culminating
Pull
in a
your
dramatic
heads out of your ass, 2K.
through the Hells Angels community. George Christie grew up with a fascination for motorcycles and a rebellious streak that set him apart from his peers. After serving as a U.S. Marine, Christie returned to California and found his way into the...
Yeah, I don't agree with them having the hat off. Because here's the thing. Well, yes, there are gamers, you know, we'll say 18 and up that play this game.
Known for his silver tongue and keen mind, he often served as the club's unofficial spokesperson, appearing in interviews and documentaries to defend the Hells Angels.
You know who loves wrestling? Kids.
Unlike many of his peers, Christie projected a more
so you're going to get kids playing this game, and there's got to be some point where, yeah, like, okay, make it difficult, but at least give the kids a chance and have the hut up. Like, okay, what the fuck are you doing?
His high-profile presence and willingness to engage with the media made some members suspicious of his motives. Critics within the club began to view him as a celebrity biker, more interested in fame than the outlaw lifestyle. Adding to the friction was Christie's opposition to the club's increasing entanglement in violent crime and drug trafficking. While he did not deny the Hells Angels' involvement in illegal activities...
Now, this is my sort of theory, and I'll go into bat on this. People who make this game actually don't play this game because they've got no idea. Like, yeah, okay, we've got the World Tour, great. Why couldn't we keep proving grounds as well?
Exposing drug operations, extortion rackets, and violent turf wars. Christie's Ventura chapter was no exception, and the scrutiny only deepened internal divisions. In 2001, Christie made a controversial decision that would ultimately seal his fate. Without consulting the club's leadership, he organized...
Anyway, that's enough bitching for me for today, or at least for now.
The riot, which included members of law enforcement,
we're just going to cruise and do our thing, and
however, many in the Hells Angels saw the move as a betrayal of their
it'll be what it'll be.
Multi-superstar team match underway. These matches always bring out the fast-paced action. Always get the WWE Universe on its feet. This one shouldn't be any different. Time to end this. And looking at Jacob Fatu. With a DDT. This spells trouble for McDonough. There's two. It is enough. Finally, it's over. Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu.
2013, when Christie published his memoir, Exile on Front Street, My Life as a Hells Angel and Beyond. In the book, Christie provided an unfiltered look into the inner workings of the Hells Angels, recounting stories of violence, corruption, and his personal struggles within the club. While he avoided outright incriminating his former brothers, the book was seen as a violation of the club's code of silence. The response from the Hells Angels was swift and brutal. Christie was labeled a traitor, and his name was blacklisted with...
These teams are ready to test each other in this tag team matchup. Competitors set for action as we see Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and Ultimate Warrior. And they'll have their work cooperating cut out for them here, dealing with JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito.
These teams have built up lots of animosity towards each other, and now they have... He has a hold of JD. DDT. We're good. About to end this fight for the win.
Two. And finally, he picks up the victory. Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu.
Principled figure, a man who tried to navigate the fine line between loyalty to his brothers and a personal code of ethics. Critics, particularly those within the Hells Angels, see him as a traitor who violated the sanctity of the Brotherhood for personal gain. Christie himself has acknowledged the contradictions in his story. I've made mistakes, he once said in an interview, but I've always tried to do what I thought was right, even when it wasn't easy. For the Hells Angels, Christie's betrayal is a cautionary tale of what happens when one of their own strays too far from
the teams are in place, and this match can now get underway.
That is a lot of bodies. Should be really interesting to see how the action unfolds here.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what strategies both of these teams might employ. This could go either way. Oh, man.
What's JD in for? Ooh, DDT.
Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
That will end it.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio.
Donald Eugene Chambers was born in 1930 in Houston, Texas, a city that would later become the foundation for one of the most infamous outlaw motorcycle clubs in the world.
Here's the thing, we're 400, I want to get to 400k to be cover my own ass pretty much,
His
and
early years were marked by a rebellious streak.
we're probably going to get a bit beyond that.
By the time the 1960s rolled around,
It looks a really long way away,
an experience that left him with a hardened
but
demeanor,
in fairness,
leadership skills,
it's like a
and taste for the
4-hour
brotherhood that
grind,
came with military life. However, civilian life after the military felt dull
relatively
and uninspiring.
easy.
He needed something more, something that gave him the
If
same
I
sense of
really
camaraderie and
push,
danger he had experienced in the service.
could probably get it in about
In the 1960s,
3.5,
motorcycle clubs
maybe.
were on the rise across the United States. The
But we're
Hells
just going to
Angels dominated
cruise,
California.
plod
The
along,
Outlaws
have fun
FC
with
had a
it,
firm grip on the
no
Midwest.
rush.
The pagans and Mongols were growing in influence. Texas, however, was still an open battleground, and Donald Eugene Mother Chambers saw an opportunity. Chambers, a Marine Corps veteran, had struggled to adjust to civilian life. The discipline, structure, and camaraderie...
Teams are in their respective corners for this tag match. Competitors set for action as we see Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and Ultimate Warrior. And in the other corner, they will be dealing with JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito.
These teams have scouted each other very well. They've probably identified the weak link in their opposition. Jacob's planning something here.
Is that all she wrote for McDonough?
Oh, this could be over. 2. Major win! That'll change his career tonight!
Texas had its own culture.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett.
Embodied rebellion, violence, and loyalty. Inspired by Mexican bandit legends like Pancho Villa, Chambers adopted a theme for his new club. A lawless band of outlaws who answered to no one. In 1966, in San Leon, Texas, Chambers founded the Bandidos Motorcycle Club. The club's colors, red and gold, were chosen to stand out. They were meant to be loud, bold, and intimidating, much like the men who wore them. The club's logo, a cartoonish Mexican bandit in a sombrero wielding a pistol.
Time to test how well these superstars work together. It's a good old tag team match. Competitors set for action as we see Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and Ultimate Warrior. And across the ring, the team they're ready to face off with: JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito.
We have to be expecting a frenetic pace in this.
Looking to end this.
Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it? And straight into the pin attempt.
2. And got the win. That is a huge win here tonight.
Chambers handpicked the early members, ensuring they were tough, loyal.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and the Ultimate.
Many were already struggling with PTSD,
Actually.
addiction, and anger issues, making them perfect candidates for the outlaw lifestyle. Others were ex-criminals and street toughs who had spent time behind bars and knew the value of loyalty and brotherhood. There were also outcasts from other clubs, bikers who had been rejected or who had left weaker organizations to join something more powerful. Chambers created a strict hierarchy within the club, modeled after the Marine Corps. Every member had a role, and respect was earned, not given. To wear the Bandidos patch, a man had to prove himself through acts of loyalty, violence, and unwavering commitment. From the beginning, the Bandidos embraced a wild and reckless lifestyle. Their motto, "We are the people our parents warned us about," wasn't just a catchy phrase. It was a warning. Booze, drugs, and women were central to club life. The Banditos partied hard, often getting into violent bar fights, running illegal gambling operations, and selling drugs to fund their operations. Loyalty was everything.
We'll
Betrayal,
sort that in a
disloyalty,
minute.
or showing weakness could get a member beaten or even killed. Fear and reputation mattered. The Banditos didn't just want to be another club, they wanted dominance. If another club or individual disrespected them, violence was the answer. Chambers enforced discipline brutally. He believed that a club could only thrive if it operated like a military unit.
Here we go with quite the tag team matchup in store. Competitors set for action as we see Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and Ultimate Warrior. They've got their hands full across the ring with JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito.
You know this is a tough match for superstars who don't play well with others. You really need to find a way to properly mix your skills with your partners.
Jacob's planning something here. Implanted by the DDT. Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it? 2 count.
Man, that was such a long and hard-fought match. He earned that victory.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and the Ultimate.
Much of the Midwest didn't like their expansion. Law enforcement agencies began targeting the club as their criminal activities became more blatant. But Chambers wasn't worried. He had built a club that was ready for war. And in the outlaw world, violence was the currency of respect. What started as a group of misfits and outlaws riding together had now become a criminal organization, one that would soon face its first major test in blood. Chambers was a businessman in his own right, just not in a legal.
Also, guys, don't forget my other channel, Voodoo the Experience, kind of like a podcast. That will be kicking off properly in the next few weeks. There'll probably be like a little promotional video dropping within the next week. Yeah, so we'll go from there. We do have a few things, so there's some things cooking stuff all good.
For this tag team matchup, competitors set for action as we see Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and Ultimate Warrior. Now they will be facing some fierce tag team action with JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito.
And communication for these teams is going to be key in this one.
Hey, Jacob's planning something here.
Down with a DDT.
Jacob about to end this fight.
There's 2. Guys, he put him away. That's a pretty big win.
Unless, of course,
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu.
Going to be a lot of stuff talked about on there. Not right away, but down the line I am looking at having a couple of guests on. We'll hit that when we get to it. I've got some ideas who I want on and who I may be able to get on. It's going to cover a bit of everything. It'll be a lot of fun, I do promise that.
At that time, it was normal for people to dress up to fly. So
time to put these teams to the test in this one under traditional tag rules. Competitors set for action as we see Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and Ultimate Warrior. And on the other side of the ring, they are facing off with JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito.
Quick tags and staying fresh are imperative in a tag match.
This can't bode well. Lights out. DDT connects. This spells trouble for McDonough. And staying with it into the cover.
That'll do it. The victory tonight.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu.
occur to you either.
No.
It did not occur to you either.
No, it didn't.
I will let the record show it did not occur to
It
you
didn't
either.
occur to me. I'll level with you. It didn't occur to me.
Sure shortly after the plane's 3 p.m.
Like I said, I'm not pushing hard. We're just going to cruise with this. I'm not.
Believing he was just flirting with her, she put the note away until the man told her, quote, "Miss, you better look at that note. I have a bomb." End quote. Pulling the note from her pocket, it read, quote, "I have a bomb in my
Because I do grind
And this
pretty
is sure
hard,
to be
but
a
I'm
hard-hitting tag team
playing
battle.
off,
Competitors set
not
for
streaming,
action
so
as we see Jacob Fatu,
it's good to
Rey
stream and just
Mysterio,
sort of kill the
Wade
grind a
Barrett,
little
and
bit.
Ultimate Warrior. Then the opposing team is, of course, filled with JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito.
This match can very well come down to experience. And I'm not just talking about...
Let's take Fatu's intentions here. DDT.
This spells trouble for McDonough. Cover. We have a cover.
Two. An exhausting victory, but a win nonetheless.
Here are your winners, the team of
Cooper told her to write down what he was saying and take it to the captain. He said, quote, "I want $200,000 by 5 p.m. in cash. Put it in a knapsack. I want 2 back parachutes and 2 front parachutes. When we land, I want a fuel truck ready to refuel. No funny stuff, or I'll do the job." End quote.
One of the best.
They're gonna land it, and then they're gonna give him the money, and then
take back off.
Take back off, and then he's gonna go. Whee!
And here we go with tag team rules in effect. Competitors set for action as we see Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and Ultimate Warrior. And this is sure to be a barn burner of a tag match in this encounter with JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito.
And trust is key to victory in a match like this. If you don't have a tag partner you can rely on, you might as well pack it in now. Oh!
He could be enjoying the moment too much, giving his opponent a lot of room to recover.
Let's take Fatu's intentions here. What a DDT! Jacob about to end this fight.
2 count. And a victory, a win.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio,
And lemon lime soda. And what?
Some cigarettes.
I don't smoke cigarettes. You can give the cigarettes to him.
Give me a whole carton of cigarettes so I can chain
Thank you
smoke.
very much. Thank you very much.
Oh,
I brought you one as well.
this is the DB Cooper special.
Yes. Wait, is this actually bourbon?
Yes. We're shooting, for the record, we're shooting this at 8 in the morning. Well, let's try it.
Tag team matchup where a team's cohesion is put to the ultimate test. Competitors set for action as we see Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and Ultimate Warrior. And across from them, they will be squaring off with JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito.
It is going to be all about teamwork and partnership here tonight. Who will be the better team? Who will have the better chemistry? I personally cannot wait to find out. Let's take Fatu's intentions here.
Down by the DDT. This spells trouble for McDonough.
2 count. Finally, it's over.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob.
Delay in the refueling process, Cooper demanded that the plane take off and to make sure it stayed under 10,000 feet. At 7:40 p.m., Cooper and the crew of Flight 305 left Seattle, instructing the crew to stay in the cockpit.
So if we keep having these crappy matches where JD just won't take a chill pill, we might have to do a little bit of a push.
While en route, Cooper used the
Teams in their respective corners for tonight's tag team contest. Competitors set for action as we see Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and Ultimate Warrior. And they'll be in for one hell of a tag team match as they square up with JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito.
Both sides in this match know that tag team competition is a very specific, very unique art. Oh, this could be something.
DDT plants them.
This spells trouble for McDonough. Beautiful. Right into the cover. 2. He did it! He did it!
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and
It's an interesting freeze frame. This looks like a horrible music video. As you all know, D.B. Cooper jumped out of a plane, skydived, perhaps to his death, and we wanted to test to see if I could have control in the sky. Obviously, it could have put me in an actual plane and make me skydive. So we did the next best thing, which was indoor skydiving. So we're going to do that. It's either going to test my control, or at the very least, it'll look very stupid.
Always difficult for the referee to keep order in these matches.
There's always an added wrinkle here. An unexpected team, a rivalry you didn't see coming. These matches are always surprising. Timed his defense perfectly.
He has a hold of JD.
DDT. Is that all she wrote for McDonough?
Leonardo's gotta feel good. Sweet, sweet victory.
here are your winners. The team of Jacob.
I had to really concentrate on just trying to keep my body straight.
Is it so strong that you're like...
Yeah, no, literally, I had a shoulder injury recently. They made me sign a waiver that said it was okay that I had a shoulder injury because I could see how this dislocates people's shoulders. I mean, look at that face right there. Does that look like the face of a man in control?
No.
And the thing is, he wasn't trained, or at least they believe he wasn't trained.
Yeah.
Not a lot of training, stormy night.
Scary.
This was a worthy experiment.
This was scary.
And these two are both starting things off for their respective teams. Referee's going to have their hands full in this one.
Yeah, it can be hard enough to get control of the situation in a standard 2-on-2 tag team match. Adding additional numbers for a match like this is just asking for chaos. Ooh. Jacob's planning something here. DDT. Wow. Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
There's 2. And a win! That may be one of the biggest wins of his career.
Here are your winners. The team of Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and the Ultimate Warrior.
Impressive victory from bell to bell.
The action we just witnessed was really something else.
This is one I won't forget for a long time.
Join us as we uncover the details of these crimes and gain insight into the operations of one of the world's most infamous outlaw motorcycle clubs. Hell's Angels' origins and structure. The Hell's Angels Motorcycle Club, also known as Hell's Angels or HA, is a globally recognized outlaw motorcycle gang. It is considered one of the 14 dominant outlaw motorcycle gangs in the United States. The Hell's Angels are part of the infamous 1% clubs, symbolizing the 1%.
Here we go with the tag matchup the WWE Universe has been salivating for. Competitors set for action as we see Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and Ultimate Warrior. And we'll see if they're prepared for tag team action as they go head-to-head with JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito.
And there is a lot of animosity growing between these teams. I expect all 4 competitors to throw caution to the wind.
Being sized up, he might regret getting back up here. Since 1999, SmackDown has taken over the weekly airwaves. No matter the night,
Jacob's planning something here. DDT. This spells trouble for McDonough.
Taking advantage of the opportunity. 2. And that'll do it. It's finally over with the win.
Here are your winners. The team of
Filthy Feud Tag, which is awarded to those who commit acts of violence in support of the club. These acts often include violence towards rival outlaw motorcycle gangs, members who are deemed to have disrespected fellow Hells Angels, or individuals kicked out of the club in bad standing. Violence is also used against anyone who disrespects the patch in public, all under the guise of protecting the club's honor. The Hells Angels Sonoma County chapter operates in Sonoma County, California. Each charter adheres to a standardized leadership structure.
Two stacked teams ready to go at it in this one.
There are a lot of egos and conflicting agendas at play here. Let's see if everyone can play nice.
This could be big.
This spells trouble for McDonough.
And right into the cover.
Might end this.
Picking up the victory as his opponent does his best. Saxton stares up at the lights.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu,
particularly by keeping an eye out for rival outlaw motorcycle gangs and law enforcement.
We're cruising quite nicely actually at the moment, so...
Church meetings, it was common for all Hells Angels Sonoma County members to share information about each other's criminal cases and potential criminal liabilities. The progress of members' criminal cases was closely monitored by the chapter. Testimony from Steve Davis, a former prospect turned confidential informant, revealed that when he was a prospect, the Sonoma County...
Putting teamwork to the test in this match under traditional tag rules. Competitors set for action as we see Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and Ultimate Warrior. And we'll see if they're prepared for tag team action as they go head-to-head with JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito.
Quick, what's JD in for?
And looking at Jacob Fatu and just planting them with that DDT there.
Is that all she wrote for McDonough? He wins!
Here we're done.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob
Charter, calling the shots from behind bars. He received ongoing moral and
Best I've got, I think, was
Hells Angels Sonoma
24 seconds,
leadership
I
roles
think.
after his imprisonment.
Or
During
25,
Raymond's
something like
incarceration,
that, but...
his motorcycle was still proudly displayed at the clubhouse. Despite being behind bars, he continued to actively...
As long as we can keep it under a minute, we're pretty good.
Raymond had a reputation for being a badass, a rock star, and Mr. Hell's Angel.
And it is finally time for some good old tag team action. Competitors set for action as we see Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and Ultimate Warrior. Then the opposing team is, of course, filled with JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito.
And communication for these teams is what's Jacob Fatu's intentions here?
Spiked. This spells trouble for McDonough.
That might have done it. This could be it. Two. And that'll finally do it. What a victory.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu.
An influential member of the chapter, known by the moniker Chief, he is hailed as one of the most active Hells Angels ever, often spending time at the Sonoma County Clubhouse and even living there at times. Christopher Ranieri, a former president of the Boston Hells Angels chapter, maintains strong ties with the Sonoma County and Fresno chapters. Celebrations were held in his honor when he visited both clubhouses. The Sonoma County Sergeant-at-Arms, Russell Out, frequently visited...
Superstars in their respective corners now for this tag team match. Competitors set for action as we see Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and Ultimate Warrior. And on the other side of the ring, they are facing off with JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito.
And trust is key to victory in a match like this. If you don't have a tag partner you can rely on, you might as well pack it in now.
We're about to see!
Connecting on the DDT.
This spells trouble for McDonough.
Two. And the victory.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu.
and New Hampshire clubhouses. Relationships between chapters. The relationships between Sonoma County members and those from the Fresno and Boston Hells Angels chapters were notably strong. Joint motorcycle rides, or runs, were a common occurrence between Sonoma County and the Fresno charter. Rival outlaw motorcycle gangs were viewed as enemies by the Hells Angels. Members were expected to attack enemies on sight. Government witness Joseph Hardesty revealed that he was...
And here we go with this tag team matchup. Competitors set for action as we see Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and Ultimate Warrior. And across the ring, the team they're ready to face off with: JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito.
These teams have scouted each other very well. They probably have... Oh, here we go.
And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT! Is that all she wrote for McDonough?
There's two. It's over. It is over.
Here are your winners, the team up.
to look out for Mongols and attack them on sight. Failure to comply with this directive could result in a loss of status within the club. For example, a full-patch Sonoma County member who failed to report seeing a Mongol license plate within Hells Angels territory was demoted to a prospect. Steve Verhagen, a former member, recounted 2 runs to Arizona involving Sonoma County and related chapters. These runs were motivated by the possibility of killing rival gang members. After Phoenix Hells Angels...
And ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a little tag team warfare. Competitors set for action as we see Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and Ultimate Warrior. And they will be facing some fierce tag team action with JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito.
And there is a lot of animosity growing between these teams.
What's Jacob Fatu's intentions here? DDT the women.
Good fight on that one.
For McDonough.
2 count. And that will end it.
Here are your winners, the team up. Jacob.
County chapter was discovered to be sleeping with Raymond Folks' girlfriend. This revelation caused significant tension and further...
Give me a few moments, guys. Just want to find something for background noise.
In the underworld of organized crime, few names carry as much weight as Louis Malou Roy. A key player in the Hells Angels, Roy was one of the most influential and wealthy figures in Quebec's criminal scene. But his rise to power came with plenty of enemies, both inside and outside the club. On June 23, 2000, Roy vanished without a trace, setting off a storm of speculation that still lingers today. Was it a betrayal, a power struggle, or something even darker? In this video, we dive into the mysterious disappearance of Louis Roy, a story full of danger, intrigue, and gruesome details that will make you question what...
And if you want to see who can play well with others, put them in a tag match.
It's true. Teamwork needs to be on point to win one of these. You know, I always think of us as a 3-man team.
Oh, shut up, Saxton. I'd switch sides just to pin you.
And look at this. And looking at Jacob Fatu.
DDT! Did Jacob Fatu get enough of it?
Directly into the cover.
The damage is done.
On a win. Wow, he's going to celebrate all night long.
Here are your winners, the team up. Jacob Fatu.
Is a dominant force in Quebec's underworld. Their control over large portions of the drug trade made them a target for rivals, but it also gave them power and wealth beyond what most people could imagine. Roy, with his sharp mind for business, quickly made a name for himself as one of the wealthiest figures in the club. He wasn't just a foot soldier. He was in a position of authority, rubbing elbows with the most powerful people in the criminal world. He was also a key player in the Hells Angels Nomads chapter.
Superstars in their respective corners now for this tag team match. Competitors set for action as we see Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and Ultimate Warrior. And standing across from them, it's a very tough test with JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito.
It is going to be all about teamwork and partnership here tonight. Who will be the better team? Oh, could this be it? Absolutely spiked DDT. Is that all she wrote for McDonough?
Raise the roof! He's got the victory!
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu.
His life and actions, it's important to understand the Hells Angels' role in Quebec. The Hells Angels have always been one of the most infamous motorcycle gangs in the world. Originally founded in California in 1948, the club expanded internationally and soon set its sights on Quebec. By the late 1970s, the Hells Angels had a firm grip on the province's criminal scene, particularly when it came to drug trafficking, extortion, and even murder. In Quebec, the Hells Angels...
Fellas, wrong, and these teams are ready for action here.
This is a match that takes a lot of cooperation with your teammates. One weak link in your chain, your team is in serious risk of losing.
Bulls.
Here it comes. And looking at Jacob Fatu.
Jacob about to end this fight.
Transitions into the pin. Is this it? And there's the win. Huge win here tonight.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob.
His leadership was marked by a willingness to do whatever was necessary to maintain control, including murder, intimidation, and manipulation. For Boucher, loyalty to the club was everything, and anyone who didn't follow his orders or upset the balance was seen as a threat. Roy's role in the Hells Angels was primarily tied to his involvement in the cocaine business. The Hells Angels were notorious for controlling the trade of illegal drugs, including cocaine, heroin, and marijuana. But in Quebec,
Teams are assembled in their corners. What's going to be the key in this one?
Well, teamwork makes the dream work. Mark my words, there's no room for selfishness in this environment. Watch your teammates back, and they'll watch yours.
Uh-oh, this is just vicious.
Arm stomp. He manages to slip out of the way.
Super kick.
Boom.
Not sure if he should waste all his time hot-dogging around.
Are we about to see it?
DDT. Is that all she wrote for McDonough?
Ooh, that ref want to count any slower or what?
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob.
more than just a number. It was a symbol of power and dominance in the criminal underworld. Despite the growing tensions, Roy wasn't someone who was easily intimidated. His confidence came from his position in the club, and his belief that, as a founding member of the Nomads chapter, he was untouchable. However, the rules of the game were changing, and Roy was about to find out that even the most powerful figures in the underworld aren't immune to betrayal. As we move forward, we'll take a closer look at the moment when everything came crashing down for Louis Roy. What happened?
Time to put these teams to the test in this one, under traditional tag rules. Competitors set for action as we see Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and Ultimate Warrior. And they'll have their work cooperating cut out for them here, dealing with JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito.
This match could very well come down to experience.
What's Jacob Fatu's intentions here? Oh, what a DDT.
This spells trouble for McDonough.
There's two. Oh, finally got him. I can't believe this match is finally over.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob.
The two men, Roy's handling of the drug trade. Roy had a tendency to undercut prices, particularly when it came to cocaine. In the world of the Hells Angels, drugs were big business, and pricing was everything. Selling cocaine for less than the established price of $50,000 per kilogram was was not just a financial loss, it was a challenge to Boucher's authority. It was a direct insult to the organized structure Boucher had worked hard to establish. Roy's actions angered not just
teams in their respective corners for tonight's tag team contest. Competitors set for action as we see Jacob Fatu, Rey Mysterio, Wade Barrett, and Ultimate Warrior. They've got their hands full across the ring with JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito.
Both sides in this match know that tag team competition is a very specific, very unique art form. What's JD in for? Jacob about to end this fight.
There's two. He put him away. He picks up the win.
Here are your winners, the team of Jacob Fatu.
Roy's refusal to fall in line with Boucher's rules, combined with his growing influence in the drug trade, made him a target. In the cutthroat world of the Hells Angels, betrayal is often punished with death. And as we'll see, it was only a matter of time before Roy's actions caught up with him. June 23rd, 2000 marked a dark day in the history of the Hells Angels in Quebec. On this day, Louis Roy disappeared. One moment, he was attending a party at the home of Maurice Boucher's father, and the next, he was gone. The circumstances surrounding his disappearance immediately raised suspicions, and